Hello, welcome to my Pokemon Journeys, episode 105, Eevee and Sylveon, a meeting and a reunion review. So we're finally at the end of the tunnel. Karu is finally going to be meeting the last evolution, so we can finally get this story out of the way. And I actually quite like that the guy who had the Vaporeon is the one who gets Kaharu to the place where we can meet Sylveon's trainer. He sends the lab a message that there's a coordinator making a splash with a Sylveon in Lily Cove City. So, her goal to meet Eevee's evolutions will finally end where it began, which is a really nice circular story. Oh, also Ash and Go are headed to Lily Cove to find an Altaria because Go is hyped after seeing Ash's battle against one. So we get to the contest tool, looking actually a bit fancier than it did in Advanced, where we finally have the anime debut of Licia, and oh my god, this is probably the highlight of the episode for me. Licia is such a fun character with a fun plot and Auraz, and she's completely shafted in X and Y, so she finally gets a chance to debut and makes up for lost time. She scouts Kaharu and Eevee for the contest, of course like how she scouts you in the game. Ash and Go oversee Kaharu's interview with Licia as Altaria escapes Go, and Licia gives Kaharu what she needs to enter a Pokemon contest, live. And yeah, you heard that right. It's called a contest live now. Now these are clearly based on the Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire contests, and I think they are different to the contests that Dawn was talking about when she returned in the summer special. I really hope contests just haven't been retconned into what we're shown in this episode, because otherwise I'll really have an issue with them, since the old style of contests are great. Dawn never mentioned the live part of contests when talking to Kaharu, so I'm really hoping. Tangent aside, Eevee runs off as she sees a Sylveon trainer, and it's Serena from X and Y. To be honest, I'm not really a major fan of Serena, but I think her growth in this episode is really good. She's grown a lot on her own, and has really made a name for herself alongside Licia. Kaharu gives a rundown about what she's doing, and she talks about how she's undecided about what she wants to do. So Go gives Kaharu a call to say that they'll be along to the contest stall, so Kaharu and Eevee decide to join the contest with Serena's help to prepare. And then we're getting an absolutely great B-plot hit that keeps Ash and Go from watching the contest. As they head towards the hall, they are suddenly stopped by the former Hoenn champion, Wallace. He recognises Ash and has been watching all of Ash's World Championships battles, so it seems Ash has a fan in Wallace, which is awesome. Funnily enough though, Ash doesn't immediately remember him, and it takes some prodding to get Ash to remember by mentioning Dawn and May, which means we also get to see that both of them in a flashback, which I really appreciate deeply for May since we'll likely never see her in person. Anyway, Ash keeps on trying to leave a contest tool, but Wallace stops him each time as he wants to have a battle with Ash, making Ash get really excited by saying that Wallace can hold his own against Hoenn's champion, who Ash does immediately remember, which kind of irritates Wallace. Ash is so gladly excited to have a match with Wallace. I don't really get why Go doesn't go ahead though, because he really wants to go see the contest, but hey, we got a Steven cameo out of this section, so that's good. So Kaharu and Serena get ready, and it's on to the first round, the normal rank, and well, here's kind of where my problem is. They're basically just the appeal rounds of all contests. It's just split up into different ranks, obviously, depending on how seasoned you are as a coordinator. There's none of the drama or action you get from a contest battles and stuff, and I greatly miss that. Regardless, I really like seeing Kaharu get up on stage. She and Eevee stand before a crowd, being broadcast on TV, which shocks Sakuragi, and it's Eevee that gives her the strength to go on. She remembers all of her experiences meeting the previous evolutions as Eevee readies the copycat and uses a Fairy Wind. Then Eevee uses her own strength with Eevee's tackle to bounce around. Then we have Serena's performance, where it's revealed that Breaksman has evolved, followed up by Licia and Ali's performance, which is in the Master rank. I particularly like seeing Licia's performance and seeing Ali incorporate Mega Evolution into the performance. The two end up tying with each other, and don't really seem to get ribbon or anything out of it. Again, I really hope contest lives aren't the same thing. So you might have noticed I've not been talking about Ashen Wallace's battle. We see various matchups like Dragonite vs Swampert, Dracovish vs Walrein, and Pikachu vs Milotic, and Ash actually beats Wallace, which means she's just casually conquered a champion mostly off screen, which is pretty hilarious, but it does serve the spot really well. The way Wallace calls himself champion, what's his face is equal, it's just such a great way to wrap this up. I don't know what's happened between him and Steven, but it's funny. Clearly bitter that Ash remembered Steven, but not him. Wallace awards Ash with a rain badge, which means Ash not only earned a gym badge this series somehow, but it's the first gym badge she's ever won twice, as he got one in advance from Juan. It's actually really surreal to me knowing that Ash made a former champion's ace Pokemon faint. It shows that he's really ready for a Masters 8. He also gets given Wallace's cape, which I think is a reference to Juan offering you his coat when you beat him in Emerald. Wallace was a really worthwhile inclusion for me for just how fun his character was here. And that's really it for this episode. Kaharu and Serena say goodbye, Ash and Go run onto a boat after Go catches an Altaria. Ash and Serena quickly say hi to each other and they're off. I thought this was a pretty good episode. Much like last week's episode 103, they used a returning character to help with one of the main cast growth. They also used a completely new character within Licia to initiate that growth, which is really cool. The real shock to me was how contests were handled. I'm going to cope and say contest lives are their own different thing from old contests, but it is what it is, I suppose. So what did you think? Thanks for watching, and bye bye.